What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Ohio Sports Talk. I am your host, Doug. That's Coach Maxon. Coach, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well, brother. Doing well, brother. A little bit, a lot to dive into. A couple things to digest from the All-Star game, which we'll touch on.
Definitely.
Some big Olympic stuff, but family's doing well. Everybody got a little sun. My face is a little bit sunburnt. Kings Island Water Park will definitely do that to you.
Yes, it
But,
will.
got a little burn from the Reds game, which we touched on Monday. But everybody's positive here, ready to dive in and talk some sports, brother. How's life over there?
Life's doing good. Life's doing good, man. It's been a slow week. We haven't had a lot of sports. We've had obviously the Cavs Summer League, but we've been missing. We got the All-Star game. I'm kind of hit or miss on the All-Star game. I'm ready for real baseball. I feel like we've got such an important second half of the season. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night, which we'll obviously touch on. But it feels like we're in that lull period of the summer where we just don't have a ton going on outside of baseball. Luckily, like you touched on, we have the Olympics. I'm very excited for the Olympics. Ready to get back on the Reds wagon and see if we can make a playoff push. And then leading right into football season where we're really going to hammer down, and that's going to be a big time for us. So don't forget, Jordan, we are selling the Ohio Sports Talk koozies. The website is officially up and running. We will tweet that out a little bit later, probably tomorrow morning. So if you want an Ohio Sports Talk koozie and want to support the show, they're $5.99. Not a massive commitment. We'll definitely tweet out the show over on SquareSite. Thank you, guys. Thank you to everybody who's tuning in. Jordan, let's see. Earlier, we got the news that the Reds have they've signed Chase Burns to a contract after the draft. He got a higher bonus than Skeens. I thought that was very interesting coming from a team that is, known for being a little bit cheap from time to time. What were your thoughts on the Chase Burns signing today, getting him in there and getting him locked in? Any thoughts there?
Maybe they're listening to us, Doug. Maybe they listen to us. Maybe they're listening to the local media. It was really kind of refreshing to see, like you touched on 100%. The Reds don't typically spend that much up front when it comes to draft picks and new players and things of that nature. So for us to go in, kind of felt like we pushed some more chips in than usual. So
exactly
that gives me some positivity, especially into a period where the window's closing, that the main Reds roster can kind of shake things up and maybe move a few pieces. But I love to see it. A little positivity from Nick Kroll and company. Not much other that I can say than that, but the right step forward, most certainly.
Yeah, definitely. And to me, what that shows, Jordan, is while we thought maybe Charlie Condon should have been the pick, we thought maybe that was the different route to go. It shows me that the Reds are uber confident in who Chase Burns can be as a starting pitcher in the league, and I think that's huge. I'm excited. I think that definitely shows us something, though. Jordan, go ahead.
No, 110%. Anytime that we see like we got the best pitcher in the draft, and that's something that is rare for teams at times, and us being that high of a draft pick, it may not happen for a while. So the fact that, like you said, somebody scouted him hardcore, they dig through their family background, they dig through their college. That means either his teammates in college had to give rave reviews, his coaches had to give rave reviews. We know the recruiting process when it comes to drafts. So $9 million, Douglas, that tells me that the Reds were 100% locked in, did their homework, met with the right people, shook the right hands, and heard the right things. And that's always the recipe for the founding block to success, the foundation for him. And let's go. I'm all in. I want to get the kid thrown, as soon as possible, see what he's got next season, and really take off from there.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to take it as a positive. I think the Reds are fully invested in this guy. The 9.25 signing bonus is massive. Great for him. I'm excited. I think the Reds do a great job. They do a great job with starting pitchers, as we've seen with Hunter Green, with Nick Lodolo, with Andrew Abbott. I mean, we have a good track record. Rhett Lauder, who's in AAA right now, who's going to probably be a part of this staff come next year. We have a good track record with starting pitching. So I have to trust this team on that one, and I think that's the right move. next thing, Jordan, we restart the season tomorrow night. We've got the Nationals, Jordan. We're facing Patrick Corbin. He's 1-9 on the year with a 5.5 ERA. Frankie Montas takes the hill. Frankie Montas has been extremely up and down this year, Jordan. We've got 65 games left. What are your thoughts on these last 65 games? What do you need to see from the Reds to make you believe? Does it need to happen right away or over time to make you believe that we can compete for that last wild card spot?
It needs to happen right out of the gate, Douglas. We touched on the pitching this year, along with the bullpen, surprisingly, which doesn't happen a lot in Cincinnati, has been solid throughout the season. The only inconsistency that we have, even our run, our plus minus run total, kind of tells a lie. We're in the plus category. But Douglas, it is so off whack. It is so not consistent.
Yeah.
Batters will score 8 to 10 runs one game, will lose a game 1-0 the next, and that's where it's got to change. I'm not saying they got to go out and score astronomical runs a game, but offensive consistency is going to be the start and finish of this team to make that wild card spot moving forward. If they can find offensive consistency, if we can get a pulse. If we can get Hines rolling and all of our guys, our lineups, Ellie Dilly Cruz consistent, a little bit outside the strike zone. If we make some changes to the starting lineup, which you harp on big time, there are guys in this lineup, Douglas, that the experiment needs to be over.
Yes,
I would like to see that right out of the gate. Let's make the lineup. It is what it is. Let's upgrade the bats. Let's find some offensive consistency, and this pitching will lead them to the wild card spot, Douglas, if they can just get it together.
Okay, Jordan, let me throw this at you. As of right now, based on Tankathon, the remaining strength of schedule for the Reds, we have the 15th toughest schedule remaining. So we are middle of the pack in terms of schedule remaining. We are 3 games under 500. We are 3.5 games back in the wild card. The Reds probably have to go. I mean, it's going to be tough. They probably have to go. What? I mean, it's going to be tough. They're going to have to probably go 38. I'm trying to think. What's the win amount? It's going to be close, Jordan. 65 games.
It's about 42-28.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to have to be really. They're going to have to be really damn good to close out this second half of the year, and I think there's probably a little bit more wiggle room than that, but it's going to have to be, they're going to have to win a lot of ball games to make this happen. You think it's possible. If we can find some consistency, if we can get TJ Friedel back, if Matt McLean can come back and potentially contribute, if some of these things start falling in, if Stu Fairchild can come back and be a strong replacement type guy, we know he's a damn good outfielder, but the bat is lacking. But if we can get some of these guys back healthy and have the options, if we can get a couple of our relief pitchers back, it makes all the difference in the bullpen and in the lineup. I don't know. I don't think we're going to be making a trade. We haven't heard any rumors really circulating yet. It looks like we're going to go into this with what we've got. I think we can make a run because we do have the pitching, but 3 games back of the wild card, and we've got 65 games to go. Like you said, it's got to be ground running tomorrow night. We've got to put our foot down tomorrow night, and it starts with Frankie Montas, and that does worry me a little bit, Jordan, just because of his inconsistency. I feel like every time he comes out there, we don't know what we're going to get, and it hasn't been very good lately. Yeah, what is your biggest worry in the second half of the year?
Well, I want to touch on Frankie Montas real quick because there are some games, and he kind of had the Hunter Green effect. There are some games where he didn't get shit for run support, and that's been a black eye of most of our pitchers' losses. Now, did he pitch some bad games? Absolutely. I'm not taking any sting away from that, but there are the games that he does pitch quality. The run support and the inconsistency that we touch on so much rears its ugly head. Yeah. But to answer your full question, what is my biggest worry about the second half of the season? It's health, Douglas, because that's been kind of the calling card for the Reds.
For sure.
A lot of guys went down early and often, So I want to see some health. I want to see the medical staff bless some holy water and some water bottles. Whatever they
Yeah.
got to do. Michael Jordan's secret stuff. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
We we got to stay healthy and consistent. So whether that's dietitians, the athletes themselves, really buckling down for the grind. For I mean, the second half of the season is what I consider the grind. You're
Yeah.
already kind of wore out. It's a short break, and then bam, you're right back into the fire. And there, to quote Rocky 3, there is no tomorrow. So you
Yeah.
have to do or die right now. So it's health and errors on the defense, which I didn't
Defense.
highlight about a minute ago. But if we can clean those up, if the health continues to get healthier, and we don't lose any new guys, and the defense, especially the infield, if Ellie and company stop what is almost a leading errors, Douglas, we're going to be fine.
Okay. All right. You sound pretty confident. I also think we can make that third wild card spot. I really do. I think we're right on the edge. I would still love for us to go out and make that move at the outfield position, but it doesn't look like we're going to, buddy. So we're going in with what we've got unless something miraculous happens. I think we have the pieces to make this run. Health, like you said, is massively important. The defense has to be sharper in the second half. Hopefully this break has healed some of those wounds, but I think we can make this run. 65 games is a lot of time. We do have 7 games left against the Brewers. That definitely worries me. We've got, 6 against Atlanta. That's tough. But then we also get 3 against the Giants, 6 against the Cubs, 4 against the Marlins. So we got spots to make it up. We got 3 game set with the Oakland A's. So we've got spots where we can definitely, pick up some of these games. It's just where can we afford to, maybe drop a series here and there. It's good. We don't have a lot of room to wiggle is one of the big problems, Jordan. Let's talk about All-Star break because All-Star break has come and gone. Tell me what you saw because Ellie De La Cruz has the nice hit in the All-Star game. Hunter Green comes in. I'm not going to overthink it. Hunter Green, he left one over the middle, a high fastball to an All-Star quality player. That's what happens. So I'm not going to overthink that one. But what did you think of the All-Star game? What did you think of the way Ellie was received and kind of promoted at the All-Star game, which was really nice?
Oh, I loved it. And, a lot of the festivities before the All-Star game, him meeting A-Rod, that was huge. And him being like, oh, you were my hero growing up, and him
Yeah.
having that moment, that just like, they say don't meet your heroes, but I think, that went above and beyond for Ellie Dilly Cruz
Yeah.
and really got him out to the national media because that was a really watched program of the weekend. To be interviewed individually is always nice. His price tag probably went up double from the last time we checked it. That's the only downside if you're a Reds fan. But but
That's
really,
good.
the media exposure and everything like that was, in my opinion, really great for him. They touched on how he just learned English over the summer, and people kind of got a little bit of his autobiography. So I dug it 110%, and he represented the ball club in the city of Cincinnati 110% professionally. He looked great with his teammates. He interacted with people when he was on the field with the American League, and that's what you love to see. You love to see, you're sending your guy that's repping your team, your squad, your ball club, in the
Yeah.
current state of the Reds. So I thought it was 110% refreshing. Everybody kind of got a preview of what the Reds can be moving forward.
And you know what I liked a lot, Jordan, is, and I don't, sometimes in All-Star games, you see guys that don't fit in. To me, it felt like Ellie was a star and he
Oh yeah.
belonged on that stage with all those guys. It felt like he fit in with the best players in the world. And I thought that was really important also. You know, I'm gonna keep banging that drum. The longer we wait to sign this guy to a long-term extension, the more worried I get. He is a superstar. He is a guy who transcends baseball, who can be all everything. Ellie sells tickets. He moves merchandise. He is a superstar. We cannot let him get away. He could be, a little bit more like flashy Barry Larkin, like we had in the '90s. That could be our cornerstone player, our MVP candidate type guy. We have to lock him down long term. Barry Larkin was a superstar in the 90s. He was MVP. He was an all-star. He was all those things. Ellie can do that. He can be that guy. We've got to lock him down, and we've got to do it long term. Quick shout out: Red Sox. Sharon Duran wins MLB All-Star Game MVP. Yes, he did. Impressive home run there at the end of the game. And then we got Mark. Hopefully he's enjoying the casino tonight. Reds pitching is good enough. It all depends on the offense being consistent. That's what Jordan harped on earlier, Mark. We appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in as always. Yeah, offense. Offense is going to be huge. But Ellie De La Cruz, superstar, long-term extension. I understand we have these feelings about Nick Krall. If Nick Krall can get this done, he buys at least another year of grace from me, if not longer, if we can get this done. It has to be a priority. It has to be our priority. He has to be the Reds' cornerstone going forward, along with this starting pitching. Any last thoughts, Jordan, before we change over and talk something else?
No, I think you tied that segment up really from a perspective of both a fan and an analyst beautifully. No reason to dip even more into that. Hard to follow. Get the extension done. My comment that was a semi joke was real. Every time he gets this national media attention, his price tag goes up. Nick Krall, get it done. So.
There you go. Jordan, let's transition, though. Our guys, they've been on a skid. We predicted them to win the last 2 games. FC Cincinnati takes another one on the chin, Jordan. Man, what is going on, dude? Because ever since, we've been talking them up. Then we hit this 2-game skid. What are your thoughts? We get back on the horse Saturday night, but what's going on, man? This 2-game skid. I know we were missing Acosta last night. Inter Miami takes the East back from us. They're at 50 points now. We're at 48. That kind of scares me, Jordan. What are your thoughts, though?
It's a free fall. I thought the first loss against New England was a little bit maybe predictable, not in the fashion that it happened. But we called it. We said hangover games are going to happen. Sometimes you need that Mr. T. You need Clever Lane to come in and make you realize you weren't on top as hard as you thought you were. But it definitely for 2 games in a row, Douglas. Like you highlighted, we didn't have our all-star. Maybe that was it. But one man doesn't win a game, especially in the sport of soccer. At least definitively. So I think, just overall, just bad play. Just bad, I saw a lot of tired legs, Douglas, for a team that, had a little bit of a break and really was predicted to get back on the horse. I don't know. Maybe I played soccer for just a little bit of my life. I know the conditioning and the things that go into it is absolutely incredible. But Douglas, I kind of see a tired team. Maybe did we win our Super Bowl and just kind of go downhill from there? What are your thoughts? Because I'm kind of tied up on it. I'm a little scatterbrained. I can't dissect one thing besides Acosta and some what I saw as tired legs. Like I don't know if we don't have the fight in us anymore. I don't want to say that because there's still a professional sports
It's only
game.
2 games.
But
I know I know it's upsetting, but it's only 2 games, so I don't want to go crazy. I do think missing your best player, the guy who sets the table for a lot of stuff that you do, is a big deal. And while it's a bad loss to lose to Chicago.
Yes.
It just let's look at the stats, Jordan, because the stats tell a story. We controlled the ball 63% of the time. They only had the ball 37%. We had 7 shots on goal. They had 8, but we took 19 shot attempts. They had 18 fouls. They had 3 yellow cards. We ended up with a red card. We had 8 corner kicks. We had 7 saves. They had 7 saves. It just felt like we weren't finding the back of the net. And maybe we never got to that high level of soccer, but maybe there's just some nights where you just can't find the net. And when you're missing your best player, it makes it even a little bit worse. Right. You just can't make it happen on that night. And that was unfortunate. I do think those 2 losses are not great losses. We're still in second in the East. I know we've got the Crew hot on our tails. I know we're worried about obviously Inter Miami because they have uber talented players in their own right. We're still right on the cusp, and I feel like we regroup. We figure out, is Acosta going to come back? Is he going to be able to play? I haven't seen anything solid on him. Have you seen anything solid?
I haven't seen anything solid yet. Everything that, to put in football terms, everything that I'm reading is questionable.
Okay.
So it's not out. Nothing looked like it was upgraded to a more severe injury or a more severe time out. But everything that I'm reading and kind of gathering is that questionability, and that still worries the hell out of me.
I definitely, and I just don't think we can't lose Acosta for much longer and expect to be competitive and compete with these top tier teams in the East.
Especially in a funk. I
mean,
would feel better if we weren't in a funk.
He's the reigning MVP of the MLS, and you can see how much we missed him last game. So it worries me, Jordan, for sure. We get back on the horse Saturday night. We get to play against New York. We got to win this game. It's a must-win game. They're 9. They have 11 draws and 4 losses. They're 38 points. They're 10 points behind us. 11 draws is impressive. Only 4 losses. They have less losses than we do. This is going to be a tough game, Jordan. New York's got a solid squad. We've got to get back in the win column, and we've got to get Acosta healthy. Any last thoughts on the FC Cincinnati group?
I'm worried. Maybe what you said does make sense. Maybe that it was just not their night. Maybe that because everything you read statistically sounded like we did play a better game than we did against New England. So that the stats are comforting, and maybe just like you said, losing your number one guy, who overall was MVP, and still being in a slump, and they couldn't just make it happen. So maybe we finally they take that next step. We get out of the funk. Maybe they have a lot of draw. New York has a lot of draws, so maybe I'm looking at a 2-1 win. We just get a domination for.
I would take a draw. I would take a draw, Jordan. Let's just not lose 3 in a row. I think that's what we got to look for. Let's just not lose 3 in a row.
I don't know.
I know. I'm worried too. But again, Saturday we'll talk about it. Big game, 7:30 start. We got a lot of games left at the same time. Right. But when you're so razor thin in the standings, you can't drop 3 games in a row. You can't drop. There's not a lot of room for error when you've got quality teams like Miami and Columbus right below you. And again, we're battling for something bigger. We're battling to win the entire league. So when you have aspirations that are a little bit higher, you can't drop some of these games and go on too big of a skid, or else long term it does hamper you even more. Jordan, let's transition though. We've got our Olympic athletes to talk about. Who do you want to start with tonight, Jordan?
Let's start with Hunter Armstrong, Ohio State swimmer. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Hunter Armstrong, Ohio State grad. He is the current world record. I can't speak tonight. The current world record holder for the 50-meter backstroke.
Yes, he is.
In the 2022 World Games. He got a silver medal for the 50-meter backstroke, a bronze medal for the 100-meter, a gold medal for the 4x1 freestyle relay, and then in 2020 in the Olympics, he was a gold medalist for the 4x100 medley relay. So this guy is extremely accomplished, kind of locked in for this games. Big Buckeye guy. So I'm really excited for him. His accolades, still being the world record holder, is huge right now, especially since this will be the first games in a long time that we didn't have Michael Phelps on the squad. So we're looking for those new guys, looking for the new names to kind of take up and fill those massive shoes. So I'm excited for the young man. He has Olympic experience. This is going to be exciting, Douglas. I think he's going to kind of take that veteran role with being his second games, being his third overall for world competition. I'm really excited for him.
Yeah, and like you highlighted, he went to Ohio State. He was the Ohio State Swimmer of the Year in 2022. He helped Ohio State win a few different things in the Big Ten tournament. definitely, and showed well in the NCAA tournament. He is from Dover, Ohio, went to Dover High School. Jordan, when I was doing my research on him, he is actually a massive theater geek. Like he really does enjoys doing all the theatrics and all that kind of stuff, which is really cool. And he's also a magician. So I just thought some of that stuff was kind of cool. You know, he's an Olympic athlete, but he still has these like kind of down to earth type hobbies and likes, you know, Wicked and all that kind of stuff. So thought that was very interesting. Like you said, being the world record holder in the 50-meter backstroke for long course, that's absurd. That's an all-time resume type thing. A world record. I could never imagine. Like you said, the gold medal in the 400-meter medley relay at the 2020 Olympics. The story of that was pretty interesting. The coach came up to him late in the evening and said, "Hey, do you have the right suit? We're going to put you on the team." Goes out and helps them win the gold medal. And then this year he's going to be competing in the 4x100 freestyle relay.
Yeah.
And then he's also going to be competing in the 100-meter backstroke at the 2024 Olympics. He's going to be very busy, Jordan. Hunter Armstrong, like you said, spent some time at Ohio State. You know, he's got a gold medal. The guy is very decorated, as you can see by that picture. Look at all those medals. I'm very excited to watch him swim. You know, he's a damn good backstroke swimmer. So that's awesome.
And I think, you know, he's kind of filling in that gap for Michael Phelps, for being kind of the
he's
face.
He's not Michael Phelps.
I'm not saying Michael Phelps. I'm saying he's filling in the gap. We got big shoes to fill this Olympic Games when it comes to men's swimming. So I think that's a hell of a start. And, you know, being already a veteran in the Olympic Games, the moment's not going to be too big for him, and, you know, the spotlight's not going to be too bright. So definitely excited for him to get out and win some more gold for the Team USA.
Yeah, and he mentioned that. I was watching an interview with him actually. You know, last games he was part of a team. This year he wants to try to go out and win that backstroke, the 100-meter backstroke, and get him that individual medal. And you know, we're going to obviously be rooting for him, an Ohio guy, so we got to go out and support him for sure. Jordan, who is our next athlete tonight?
Our next athlete is Morel McCain from Cleveland. She is a female boxer. She started in high school at 17, and her career has really taken off. And kind of some side notes, like you were talking about our other athlete, Douglas. She does modeling on the side as well. So as tough as nails as she is inside the ring, she's got a little bit of elegance to her. So it's nice to see a little bit of mixture there.
Definitely a pretty gal. Definitely a pretty gal.
Most certainly. She's 29 years old. She has a silver medal in the World Pan Am Games in Santiago in 2023. And she is the first woman boxer from Cleveland to make Team USA. So really representing not only where she's from in Cleveland and Cuyahoga County, but representing Ohio really well. She's a first-time Olympic athlete when it comes to the Olympic Games. And she went to college at Cuyahoga Community College. So everything that she has done, Douglas, has been on an amateur level. She's had to fight, claw, and scratch for everything she does. Even a GoFundMe page actually financially centered to the games, which I thought was super interesting that she had to get that together after making the games. So a lot of accolades here, Doug. You know, tough as nails, started at 17 boxing. You know, she's 29 now. And her record overall, she's 38 wins, 14 losses. She's knocked out 5 opponents, and she's never been knocked out herself. And that's her amateur record. So she's 34-14 with 5 knockouts, and all of her losses have been by decision. So that's kind of a positive thing moving forward. So I'm really excited for her, especially right here from Cleveland. You know, she's a huge avid Browns fan. She said that in her interview.
We all are. We all are.
She's a huge Cavaliers fan, and she enjoys ballet dancing in her free time, which I thought was also interesting. But you think about everything that a boxer does on their feet, Douglas, it kind of flows together. It makes sense. You know, you got to have that balance and that coordination. And
you got to be light on your feet. You got to bounce, like you said. She also finished 9th at the World Championships in 2022. So she's definitely had some success in the boxing realm. Like you said, 38-14, a really solid boxing career. You know, during my research on her, I saw that she had done the modeling also, and she's an avid Cavs fan and Browns supporter. You love to hear that from a strong woman. So we haven't heard anything from any Cincinnati women. So, what are they doing? But what else do you have on Miss McCain?
No, that's it's her first Olympics, so I think. But she like we touched on, she has experience in world tournaments. She's silver medaled. She's been there, so I don't think the moment's going to be too bright for her. I sound like a broken record, but I'm really excited, Douglas. I've never really, I've watched a little bit of amateur boxing when Olympics come around, but I've never really tuned into it hardcore before. But her background and her story, I'm all in on this gal. I'm really excited to see what she's going to bring to the table and bring home the gold for the USA. It's a real possibility for her.
Yeah, definitely, and we're going to be rooting for her. We wish her all the best. Obviously, Ms. McCain from Cleveland, Ohio, with our second Olympic spotlight. We're going to touch on a couple more athletes this coming week. Obviously, we're going to be off Monday, but we're going to keep highlighting these athletes even through the games because they work their asses off and they deserve a little bit of praise. And today we got to talk about two athletes that McCain, probably not a lot of people know about her.
No.
She's a successful boxer. More people definitely probably know about Hunter Armstrong because of the 2020 gold, but he's swimming's not a glamorous sport unless your name's Michael Phelps or one of these idiot swimmers who gets in trouble on the side. So it's nice to get out and talk about these athletes. So maybe next week we'll talk about like a little known guy named LeBron or a guy named Steph Curry, some other former Ohio residents. So I'm just there's a bunch of Ohio athletes competing in the game. So we'll definitely touch on some more athletes next Thursday when we come back for our Thursday show, since we'll be off Monday for my vacation. Jordan.
Just to highlight, because when you said idiots doing dumb things for swimming, I said Katie Ledecky at the same time. That is not who we're talking about, folks. I just wanted to highlight that.
You're talking about Ryan. You're talking about the male swimmer.
He's talking about the male swimmer that was a complete doofus and representing the United States in the wrong way. But Katie Ledecky, absolute champion. Don't want to take anything away from her.
She's fantastic. So. But yeah, let's transition, Jordan, to the news and notes portion. So, but right before we signed on, Jordan, we had another commitment for the Ohio State Buckeyes. These guys, they're recruiting. People overthink recruiting a little bit, in my opinion. We signed Jarquez Carter, 4-star D lineman, right before we signed on. The rich get richer, Jordan. We signed another fantastic player. Ohio State is absolutely dominating the recruiting trail, so that was exciting. Any thoughts on this? On that signing?
Just another big win for Larry Johnson and company when it comes to defensive line. Yeah. A lot of people, even 2 years ago, including myself, were calling for Larry Johnson to not be there anymore. I was calling for his resume, Douglas, and on a recruiting trail this year, he's kind of sweetened my tune some. But we'll see it. We'll see it all come together. Paper's one thing. We'll see the team come together this September is another thing. And these recruits that we're getting now, just excite me even for next year. I'm already hyped about this year in the quarterback competition, but next year, these recruits, it's just like, bring it on. And hopefully they can all, the transfer portal also scares me. They say you can never have too much, but in the world of the NIL, Douglas, it worries me a little bit about bringing so many stars together, because it doesn't mean they're always going to be together. So that's my only worry about it. But as for front page right now news, this is another win for Larry Johnson and company. Really happy to see him move forward and just put it together, man. Give us this kickoff. Like I'm so ready for it.
Yep, Jordan, totally with you. Football cannot get here soon enough. Let's talk a little bit of summer league. The Cavs are 1-2, Jordan. It's not been great. Emoni Bates is playing well tonight. He's 3 of 6, 2 of 3 from the 3-point line. He's got 8 points to start. It's still early in the first quarter tonight. Summer league is tough. I've liked what I've seen from Tyson. I think he's going to be a good player. I like the way he rebounds. I like the way he gets out, and he's not afraid to create a little bit for his other teammates. And his jump shot looks like it's very promising. But he's going to be a farther into the rotation type guy, especially with the talent that's in the starting lineup and stuff. So not a guy who I think is going to be extremely helpful this year, but he has potential down the line. Have you been able to watch any summer league? Because I know the games are usually on late and stuff because they're out in Vegas. So have you been able to catch any of it?
I was able to catch game 2 totally from start to finish, which we touched on Monday's episode.
Yeah.
I'm not in tune right now to what's going on tonight, but I'll definitely I get to watch the replays. So, when I can watch them kind of on my own time. Apologize to the fans. I'm a little busy. I got a little coaching career going on myself
Yes, you
over
do.
at Alter. So it's been extremely busy for me going from one thing to another, but I'll definitely watch the replay tonight. But Douglas, I'm a little worried about Porter Jr.'s play.
Yeah.
I wanted him to really edge out Niang, and it's kind of some of the really assume a point guard kind of role or a distributor kind of role when it comes to offense in the second unit. I'm not feeling that confidence right now. I'm not seeing the same play that we saw him play meaningful minutes this year due to injury in the regular season. It's not equating to summer play. Is that because and maybe I'm just kind of picking your brain a little bit. Is that because the talent that's around him is a lower quality? I'm not taking anything away from the athletes, but it is a lower quality. He's not playing with Donovan Mitchell and company and distributing the ball like he was in a regular season. So is it the talent around him, or are we seeing kind of a sophomore slump?
I just think he's struggling with his jump shot right now. I'm not going to put too much stock in summer league, especially for guys who have contributed to the roster. I definitely would like to have seen him been better in summer league so far, but I'm not going to overthink it. I do think Craig Porter Jr. can be our backup point guard, and I think he can be successful. The jump shot definitely has to improve. It's been off this season. He did hit 3 threes the other night, so that's improvement, but it's just summer league. You kind of it's kind of a crapshoot sometimes when you watch the play. It's sloppy. It's not always, perfect. It's meant to highlight rookies. And that's what, every now and then you get a guy who's a little bit older who does great, but it's meant overall to highlight the rookies. And that's what it's meant for the Cavs. Tyson's supposed to be the star. Bates is still shooting a lot. I don't know if that guy's ever going to be a real contributor on a team. I just think he's inconsistent and not as efficient as he could be. And he's just never adapted to being a team type guy. He needs to work on his creation. And I would like to see more DJ Burns. I don't need to see any more Pete Nance. Pete Nance, in my opinion, is not very good. And I hate to be that way because his dad is a legend. His brother's a damn good player, but he just doesn't do it for me. So I'm kind of out on Pete Nance. I'd like to see more DJ Burns in the lineups. But again, it's just summer league. I'm not gonna overdo it. I like that. I like that Tyson's going out and rebounding and doing a good job creating it for other players. Jordan, let's talk about your Bengals. Are you guys going to sign this receiver? What are we going to do here, buddy?
Receiver, offensive lineman.
Or sorry, offensive lineman. Sorry. What's the difference?
I don't know, Doug. Well, the difference is that T. Higgins is $21 million richer, and Means is not signed. Our first round draft pick, tackle from Georgia is unsigned. So maybe I'm reading too much into it, but Douglas is a little late in the season here for us to be kicking off camp here soon. And, not only that, but preseason activities are right around the corner, and we haven't signed this guy yet. But, I mean, he's been to every practice and participation. So he's not – there's no kind of holdout signs here. But I don't know what Katie Blackburn's doing. It's been kind of a bad offseason for signings. We had all the drama on the defensive line with our guys being upset. We've had the T. Higgins drama. We still don't have clear word on Chase being signed long term, which kind of sucks because you're losing T. Higgins out the door next year. So I don't know, Douglas. Katie Blackburn is getting a big D- on my book right now for this offseason. It's been kind of atrocious when it comes to free agent signings and handling in-house issues.
Yeah. There's still plenty of time. There's still plenty of time. I think you guys are in a good spot overall. I'm not going to overreact, but it needs to get done. It should already be done. That kind of stuff always does worry fans a little bit extra, but I'm not going to overthink it. I think you guys are in a fine spot. one little blemish outside of T. Higgins. He's going to play for you guys, so it doesn't really matter. He's going to play. You're getting another year out of him. I think that's not anything to worry about. I am worried. I'm kind of confused why Mims hasn't signed yet, but that's part of the business. They're negotiating. He was a first round pick. Obviously, they want more security. They want more guarantee. They want something. And knowing the Bengals, they're probably pushing back. That's just how the business is. That's how the Bengals have been.
Do we want 4 more games out of Joe Burrow and then a shitty season and a break for Jake Browning again, or are we going to sign this tackle? Like that's kind of my mindset on it.
I don't know if that makes or breaks it, but I get your overarching point. Get it done, Bengals. Let's protect your franchise. That's all.
Katie Blackburn, who is the mouthpiece for Mike Brown nowadays, get it done. Just get the man signed, get it signed, signed, sealed, delivered. He's a long-term tackle. Everybody's had nothing but praise for him. All camps and off-season workout programs. There's just no reason. There's no stale end to the story. So let's just get it done. Get Joe Burrow the peace of mind that he's got a potential starting tackle, in the wings, ready to play at any given time. These massive packages that we're seeing, moving Brown to guard, bringing in Memes to tackle, during camp have excited me. We touched on it a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
There's just no reason not to get it done and have everybody sign, going into full contact and hits in these, combine practices with the Bears that we got coming up here soon.
Football's almost back, Jordan. That's the real thing. We're almost 2 weeks away, week away.
I think we're 2 weeks away from college and 3 weeks away from the NFL preseason.
Hell yeah. Good to be back. Jordan, you got any other Ohio news and notes before we get out of here tonight?
Just want to highlight, since we're talking the Olympics, Kenny Atkinson being the assistant on the France basketball team.
The national team,
the national team. I didn't know he was doing that. I think that was a little fun thing that I found out, this week. So, hats off to him. Even makes me more confident about the signing. Him as leading our franchise moving forward. So, really happy to see the guy get out there and compete on the world stage and bringing the Cavaliers maybe some positive attention. So, just a little fun fact to throw out there. But that really wraps up my news and notes for my portion. So, let's see, you got any save rounds? I think we're ready to rock.
No, you know what? Thanks everybody for tuning in. 106 live viewers at this moment. We appreciate every single one of you guys. It means the world to us. We are off Monday night. Jordan is going to do a video recapping the weekend in Ohio sports and talk about some things that we're going to miss. So that'll be good. Look for that on Monday. Jordan, good show tonight, buddy. I appreciate you. If you have not, since we've got all you guys here, check out the Ohio Sports Talk koozies. They are $5.99 on our shop. We will be posting the shop here later tonight or tomorrow morning. We would massively appreciate you to support the show. We understand if you cannot, but we would really appreciate it. They're nice koozies. They fit cans. They fit all kinds of different stuff. Help us out, and we really, really appreciate the support. We're growing this. We're going to keep working. We're going to keep getting better. Ohio Sports Talk is a brand that is going to stick around for a long time. So thank you guys. We will be back next Thursday after I get back from Fort Lauderdale. I'm flying in. I'm getting on the headset, and we're going to do a show. I can't wait. A week without you guys is going to seem like forever, but we will be back and better than ever next Thursday live at 9:00. Jordan, go ahead.
And just, I always thank the fans at the end too, all of our live viewers, all of our interactions in between shows. We love it. We appreciate it. And if you can't get to our gift shop, the biggest way you can help us, we got some projects behind the scenes that are taking form and kind of taking off in their own right. Hit that retweet button, hit that subscribe button.
Definitely.
Get us out there. We're small right now. We're building something big here in Ohio. Like Douglas touched on, we're here to stay. We're here to build, and it starts and finishes with you, the fans. So really hit that retweet button, hit that like button, subtweet, get in with us, interact with us. We're always up, and we love it. We do it for you guys. Douglas is, I love coming on here with you. This is what we do, and just thank you, and can't wait to see what the future holds.
All right, guys, that's been Ohio Sports Talk. I'm Doug. That's Jordan, and we will see you next Thursday night hopefully a little tanner, a little prettier. Can't wait. See you then. Bye.